Tonight is pampering night. The evening at the Manor began as all enchanting nights do, with the gentle glow of a grand fireplace, casting a warm, golden light across the room. The pampering suite, nestled deep within the Manor's timeless walls, was a sanctuary of luxury and comfort. The fire crackled softly, its flames dancing playfully, reflecting off the rich mahogany paneling and the ornate gold accent that adorned the room. The plush armchairs and velvet chaise lounges were arranged invitingly around the hearth, each one promising a cocoon of warmth and relaxation. Yria, the gracious hostess of this evening of indulgence, stood near the fireplace, her presence as serene as the room itself. She was dressed in an exquisite red silk robe, the color as deep and rich as the most beautiful lipstick one could lay eyes on. The silk clung to her form elegantly, its soft sheen catching the firelight, creating an aura of understated opulence. Her hood, lined with the same luxurious fabric, was draped gently over her shoulders, framing her face in a way that highlighted her calm and posed demeanor. As the heavy oak door to the suite opened, with a quiet creak, Yria turned with a welcoming smile to greet her friends, Tiff, Vicky, and Emma, each arriving in turn, their expressions brightening as they entered the warm, inviting space. The room seemed to embrace them with its coziness, the scent of lavender and vanilla subtly perfuming the air, adding to the sense of tranquility. "Welcome, my dear friends," Yria said softly, her voice as soothing as the ambience around them. "Tonight, have arranged something truly special for us. An evening of unparalleled luxury and relaxation. She gestured towards the grand chaise lounges, positioned around the fireplace, where each friend found a beautifully laid out silk robe and a pair of cashmere slippers waiting for them. The robes, custom made from the finest mulberry silk, were a testament to Yria's impeccable taste. Each was a masterpiece of craftsmanship, tailored to perfection, and dyed in deep, jewel-toned colors: emerald green, sapphire blue, and burgundy red, each chosen to complement the natural beauty of the wearer. Delicate monograms, embroidered in gold thread, adorned the chest of each robe. A personal touch that spoke volumes of the thoughts Yria had put into this evening. Please, Yria continued, her voice filled with warmth. Make yourselves comfortable. Slip into these robes and let the evening's indulgence begin. Tiff, Vicky and Emma exchanged delighted glances as they reached for the robes. The silk felt cool and smooth under their fingers, a luxurious contrast to the warmth of the room. As they shrugged off the day's attire and wrapped themselves in the robes, they sighed in contentment. The fabric draped elegantly over their bodies, the silk flowing like water, soft and whisper-light against their skin. The cashmere slippers, lined with the finest fleece, were like clouds cradling their feet, offering comfort and warmth that was nothing short of heavenly. The friends settled into the plush armchairs, each one sinking into the rich upholstery with a sense of ease and relaxation. The fire crackled gently, its warmth seeping into their bones as they exchanged smiles of appreciation for the exquisite care Yria had taken to ensure their comfort. Yria now seated with her friends by the fire, looked at each of them with satisfaction. The evening was just beginning, and already the atmosphere was one of deep contentment and serene luxury. The room, with its grand decor and the gentle flicker of the fire, was a haven where the outside world seemed to fade away, leaving only the promise of a night filled with indulgence and relaxation. In a moment, Yria said, her voice a soft murmur, "We'll begin our evening of pampering with the finest treatments the Manor has to offer. But for now, let's simply enjoy this moment, this warmth, this comfort, and let the stress of the day melt away." And so they did, in the quiet of the Manor, surrounded by the elegance of their surroundings and the warmth of their friendship. Yria and her friends allowed themselves to fully sink into the luxury of the moment. The night ahead promised more delights, but for now they simply basked in the simple pleasure of being together, wrapped in the embrace of silk and firelight. The warmth of the fire continued to envelop the room as Yria gracefully rose from her seat, her red silk robe flowing behind her like a whisper of elegance. With a gentle smile, she beckoned her friends to join her at the marble vanity that had been meticulously arranged near the fireplace. The vanity, a stunning piece of craftsmanship, was set with a selection of the most luxurious skincare products, each one carefully chosen to provide an evening of indulgence and rejuvenation. The firelight flickered softly across the crystal jars and bottles that adorned the vanity, their contents glowing like liquid gold within their delicate glass containers. Each product had been selected for its unparalleled quality. Gold-infused serums, truffle extract night creams, and rose quartz masks, each promising to leave the skin radiant and revitalized. The subtle scent of rose and jasmine filled the air, mingling with the warm notes of lavender and vanilla that lingered from the fireplace, creating an atmosphere of pure tranquility. As Yria and her friends, Tiff, Vicky, and Emma, gathered around the vanity, they were greeted by a professional esthetician known for her expertise in the art of luxury skincare. Dressed in a pristine uniform, she exuded an air of calm and precision, her every movement deliberate and graceful, as if she were conducting a symphony of beauty. Good evening, ladies, the esthetician said warmly, her voice as soothing as the ambience around them. Tonight, we'll be indulging in a skincare ritual designed not just to nourish your skin, but to rejuvenate your spirit as well. She selected a gentle, creamy cleanser. Its formula, enriched with rare botanicals and precious oils. This cleanser, she began as she applied it to Yria's face, is one of my favorites. It's infused with chamomile and calendula, both of which are wonderful for soothing and calming the skin. Always remember, no matter how tired you are, never skip cleansing before bed. It's essential to remove the day's impurities, allowing your skin to breathe and regenerate overnight. The esthetician massaged the cleanser into Yria's skin in slow circular motions, the foam lathering softly under her skilled hands. As she worked, she continued, I once had a client who worked in the city, long hours, constant stress. She'd often fall asleep without removing her makeup, and it took a toll on her skin. When she finally committed to a proper cleansing routine, her skin transformed. It was like she had reversed time, simply by giving her skin the care it needed. Steve, Vicky and Emma listened intently as the esthetician moved to each of them, sharing the same gentle wisdom while cleansing their skin. Each of them enjoyed the soothing sensation of the cleanser as it was carefully massaged into their skin by the esthetician's skilled hands. Once the cleansing was complete, the esthetician reached for a gold-infused serum, its golden flecks suspended in a clear, silky fluid. She held the crystal dropper aloft, the serum catching the firelight as she spoke. This serum is truly something special. It's infused with gold, which not only adds a touch of luxury, but also helps to stimulate collagen production and enhance your skin's natural glow. As she applied the serum to Yria's face, using a jade roller to work it into the skin, she added, always apply your serum before your moisturizer. It's designed to penetrate deeply into the skin, delivering those potent ingredients right where they're needed. And this jade roller, it's more than just a pretty tool. It helps with lymphatic drainage and reduces puffiness. I tell my clients, even a few minutes of rolling can make a world of difference. The jade roller moved across Yria's skin. The cool, smooth surface gliding effortlessly over her cheeks, forehead, and jawline. Yria could feel the tension melting away, replaced by a deep sense of calm and well-being. The serum absorbed quickly, leaving her skin glowing with a soft, radiant sheen. As she repeated the process with Tiff, Vicky and Emma, the esthetician shared another story. Years ago, I treated a bride the night before her wedding. She was so anxious. Her skin was breaking out, and she was worried about how she'd look on her big day. We did this exact routine, and by morning, her skin was calm, radiant, and ready for her walk down the aisle. She sent me a picture of her glowing face afterward. Truly one of the highlights of my career. The final step in the skincare ritual was the application of a rich truffle extract night cream housed in a pearl-colored jar that shimmered like moonlight. The esthetician scooped a small amount of the cream with a gold-tipped spatula, its texture thick and velvety. She applied it to Yria's skin in gentle upward strokes, ensuring that every inch of her face was enveloped in the nourishing cream. As you age, never forget to apply your cream with upward strokes, the esthetician advised. It's a small thing, but it helps counteract the effects of gravity over time. And this truffle extract, pure decadence. It's incredibly hydrating and works wonders overnight to plump and firm the skin. The night cream, with its decadent blend of truffle extract and rose quartz, left Yria's skin feeling deeply hydrated, smooth and supple. The esthetician repeated this process with Tiff, Vicky and Emma, each friend savoring the rich, luxurious sensation of the cream as it was massaged into their skin. The room was filled with serenity, the only sounds being the soft crackling of the fire and the gentle whispers of the esthetician's hands as they worked their magic. As the skincare routine came to an end, Yria looked at her friends, their faces glowing with health and vitality. The professional care they had received was evident in the radiant, dewy appearance of their skin, each of them looking and feeling utterly rejuvenated. The aesthetician stepped back, her work complete, leaving the women to admire the results of their luxurious treatment they had just experienced. Yria, her voice a soft murmur, spoke once more. "How do you feel, my dear friends?" she asked, her gaze warm and content as she took in their serene expressions. Tiff smiled, her eyes bright with contentment. "I feel wonderful, Yria. This has been such a treat." Vicky and Emma nodded in agreement, their hands gently brushing over the newly pampered skin. "This is exactly what we needed," Vicky added, her voice filled with gratitude. Yria smiled, pleased that her friends were enjoying the evening as much as she had hoped. "I'm so glad to hear that. The night is still young and there's more luxury to come." With their skincare routine complete, Yria and her friends returned to their plush armchairs by the fire, their skin glowing and their spirits lifted. The warmth of the room, combined with the exquisite care they had just received, created an atmosphere of pure relaxation. The next stage of the pampering night awaited. An indulgent hair care ritual conducted by the Manor's most skilled stylists. Yria, her red silk robe catching the light from the fire as she stood, invited her friends to join her at the grand mirror set just beside the fireplace. The mirror, framed in ornate gold and adorned with delicate carvings, reflected the room's warm, inviting glow. Before it stood a row of elegant velvet seats, each one perfectly positioned for the upcoming treatment. As Yria and her friends took their places, they were met by the Manor's professional stylists, each one a master in the art of hair care. The stylists dressed impeccably in sleek tailored uniforms, exuded an air of calm expertise. Their hands moved with practiced grace as they prepared to pamper Yria and her friends with the finest hair treatments available. The hairstylist assigned to Yria approached her with a warm smile. "Good evening, Lady Yria," she greeted, her voice gentle and soothing. "Tonight, we'll be treating your hair to a ritual of nourishment and care, beginning with a deep conditioning treatment. Your hair is your crown, and it deserves to be treated as such." Yria smiled in return and relaxed into her seat as the stylist began by applying a rich, deeply hydrating hair mask infused with argan oil and rare botanicals. This mask is designed to restore moisture and add a brilliant shine, the stylist explained, gently massaging the mask into Yria's hair from roots to ends. Argan oil is known as liquid gold in the world of hair care. It's packed with vitamins and antioxidants that nourish and repair, leaving the hair soft and lustrous. The stylist worked the treatment into Yria's hair, taking care to ensure each strand was coated with the nourishing mask. "I once had a client with hair that had been damaged by years of heat styling," she continued, her fingers moving expertly through Yria's hair. After using this treatment regularly, her hair was transformed. It became stronger, shinier, and full of life again. It's amazing what the right products and a little care can do. While the mask was left to work its magic, Yria's stylist gently brushed through her hair using a brush crafted from pure boar bristles set in a polished walnut handle. Boar bristles are wonderful for distributing natural oils throughout the hair, she explained. They help to keep your hair shiny and healthy while also reducing frizz. Plus, the brushing itself is incredibly soothing, don't you think? Yria nodded, her eyes closed, as she enjoyed the rhythmic motion of the brush moving through her hair. The sensation was calming, almost hypnotic, as the bristles glided effortlessly through her now soft, conditioned hair. Each stroke of the brush seemed to release the tension of the day, leaving only a sense of peace and relaxation in its place. After the brushing, the stylist rinsed out the conditioning mask with warm water, leaving Yria's hair silky and rejuvenated. She then carefully towel dried the hair, taking care not to cause any tangling or breakage. When drying your hair, always be gentle, the stylist advised. Rough towel drying can lead to frizz and damage. Instead, gently squeeze out the excess water and then pat your hair dry. With Yria's hair prepped and ready, the stylist began to style it according to Yria's preference. What kind of look are you in the mood for tonight, Lady Yria? She asked. Yria considered for a moment before responding. I think I'd like soft, cascading waves tonight. Something elegant but relaxed. An excellent choice, the stylist said with a nod, her fingers already beginning to section Yria's hair. Waves are timeless and effortlessly sophisticated. They'll enhance your natural beauty while giving your hair a beautiful, flowing movement. The stylist reached for a large barrel curling iron, heating it to the perfect temperature. Will create loose waves that frame your face and add volume, she explained as she began to wrap sections of Yria's hair around the iron. The key to achieving soft waves is to curl away from the face and to leave the ends slightly straight. This keeps the look modern and natural. Once the waves were set, the stylist gently brushed them out, creating a soft, flowing effect. She then applied a lightweight finishing spray to hold the style without making the hair stiff. As a final touch, the stylist spritz a signature fragrance, an exclusive blend of jasmine and amber, into the air around Yria's hair, allowing the scent to settle gently. This fragrance will linger softly throughout the evening, adding a touch of elegance to your look, she said with a satisfied smile. Yria admired her reflection in the grand mirror, pleased with the transformation. Her hair was now styled to perfection, each wave cascading gracefully down her back, adding a touch of effortless sophistication to her look. The stylist stepped back, her work complete, allowing Yria to fully appreciate the luxurious treatment she had just received. Tiff, Vicky and Emma were similarly pampered, each choosing their own style. Tiff's sleek updo, Vicky's romantic curls, and Emma's classic, voluminous blowout. The room was filled with a sense of intimate camaraderie, the shared experience of being pampered, creating a bond between the friends that was both comforting and joyful. As the hairstylists finished their work, Yria and her friends looked at themselves in the grand mirror, admiring the transformation. Their hair was now styled to perfection, each strand in place, each look tailored to enhance their natural beauty. Yria turned to her friends, her heart full of warmth and contentment. "You all look stunning," she said softly. her voice filled with affection and pride. This evening is as much about feeling beautiful as it is about being together. With their hair perfectly styled and their spirits lifted, the women returned to their seats by the fire. The warmth of the flames, the softness of their robes, and the gentle weight of their beautifully styled hair created a cocoon of comfort and luxury. A delicate clinking of fine porcelain signaled the arrival of the final touch to their pampering night. A selection of calming herbal teas, each one carefully chosen to soothe and relax. The teas were presented in exquisite porcelain cups, each one hand-painted with intricate floral designs and rimmed with gold. The cups, delicate yet sturdy, were a testament to the Manor's commitment to elegance and tradition. Yria watched with a contented smile as a tray of teas was placed on the low table before them. The steam rising from the cups carried with it the soothing sense of chamomile, lavender, and a hint of peppermint, an aromatic blend designed to bring the evening to a peaceful, calming close. The teas were infused with the finest herbs, carefully sourced and selected for their relaxing properties, a perfect complement to the luxurious treatments that had preceded them. As Yria and her friends each took a cup, the warmth of the porcelain against their hands was a comforting contrast to the cool evening air that drifted in from the open windows. The first sip was met with a soft sigh of contentment. The herbal blend was both fragrant and flavorful, its soothing warmth spreading through them like a gentle embrace. Yria looked around at her friends, their faces serene, their eyes reflecting the flickering firelight. The room was filled with deep satisfaction. a quiet joy that came from sharing such a special evening together. The luxury of the treatments, the care they had received, and the simple pleasure of each other's company had created a night that was as rejuvenating for the soul as it was for the body. This has been a truly wonderful evening, Yria said softly, her voice carrying the warmth and sincerity of her feelings. I'm so grateful to have shared this time with each of you, my dearest friends. Tiff, Vicky and Emma smiled in response, their eyes shining with affection and agreement.